Hi. So, just recently, this past Saturday, I was asked by a YouTuber who's actually one of my subscribers. Um, YouTube name is ThisMusicInMyHead. Thank you so much for having a name that I can pronounce because I see so many people on YouTube trying to pronounce names and they just butcher them. So, thank you very much for that. And the first topic they wanted me to talk about was young relationships. To start off, I would like to say with a young relationship, don't expect it to last forever. Do not go into that relationship and assume that you found your soulmate because odds are you probably haven't. However, I do know people who they marry their high school sweetheart. They both went to college together. They have kids. They're married. They're happy and they're doing very well for themselves. Other people, not so much. That relationship probably didn't last long. And if it did last long, it lasted a couple years, and that's perfectly fine too. Just don't go in expecting that you and this person are going to be together forever. That's just one of the points I wanted to throw out there. Number two, and I noticed that this is one that so many people do. I did it. And I'm just going to tell y'all right quick. Don't just throw the L word out there. Do y'all know what L word I'm talking about? Love, love. I love you. Honey, I love you too. Odds are you're probably too young to even know what real love is. And I know a lot of people who, let me just say this. This really irks my nerves. You know how we all have the Facebook and Twitter and all this other stuff, but mainly Facebook. And someone breaks up with somebody. This is my example. Someone breaks up with somebody, and before they broke up, they were all lovey-dovey, kissy face on Facebook talking about, oh, honey, I love you, baby, I love you, this, that, and the other. Then they break up, and then they want the whole world to know, and they start cussing each other out on Facebook. Then, a couple weeks later, or even a couple days later for that matter, there was somebody else talking about some I love you. Excuse me? You've been dating this person for 5 hours and you love them? That just really irks my nerves. Just don't throw the L word out there and expect that when the person says I love you back, they're being 100% truthful. You can care about someone a lot when you're young. You can care about them to death, but just that L word, no, no. And I know a lot of us out there have done it. I did it. Now, I wasn't one of those crazy people on Facebook, but, I did it, so, hey. Now, for females, this is a little side note I made. For females, if you're just starting to date this guy and he says, I love you, think about his motive. Think to yourself, we've only been dating for a couple weeks. What do you mean you love me? Think about it like this. Run this question through your head and then think about the way y'all's relationship has played out so far. He's either saying I love you because he means it, and I'm going to keep this next part very real with y'all, or he's saying I love you because he wants to get in my pants. Moving on. Just think about that. Think about that. If he says I love you within a couple days or a couple weeks of dating, slam on brakes, put it in park, sit there, and you think, honey, about why the heck this guy is saying I love you. Why? Because you're probably not ready. You probably weren't even ready for all that. So just think about it. Sit in park for a while and think. Now, number 3, don't move too fast in the relationship. That also goes with the whole I love you thing, but just don't go full speed ahead. Take it slow. Take a relationship slow. You may have had your eye on this person for a while now, but don't move too fast, okay? And also that goes into another topic. You're still young. You're still young, you're still living life. I know they say life is too short. As a young person, you don't have to rush. Because the older I get, the more I realize that I had it made when I was younger, okay? So that's one of the other things I wanted to throw out there. And also, what is it that you want out of the relationship? Before you even go into it, think about what is it that you want? What is it that you expect that person to give you in return for what you're going to give them. Everyone wants to be respected, okay? Arguments will happen. Don't let it escalate and don't let it get out of hand. If you have to walk away and breathe, walk away and breathe. Like I said, what is it that you want out of this relationship? Back on topic. What is it that you want? Like for me, I want to be respected. I want him to be honest and trustworthy with me, and he has to be a good listener because I know myself. I know myself, and I tend to ramble. I tend to just go off on these tangents, and I expect him to be listening from point A to point B until I am finished. At least I hope he's doing that. And then you also have to think about, even if you have to sit down and ask that person, what is it that you want from this relationship? What is it that you expect from me? That in itself can be a real big eye-opener in that relationship. And even from the start, it might make the person go, I gotta think about it for a moment. Give them some time to think about it, and then have them come back to you and you guys talk it out. And I know it's a fresh relationship and it might be a little awkward, but that can actually probably help. I've never really done it, but it kind of just came to me. Maybe that would have worked out with some of the stuff I went through. Anyway, some other things. This goes for more of the teenagers. This is more for, like, this whole video is probably for, well, I know it is because the person who sent me the message is going to be a freshman, and that's the other video I'm going to be doing. But I also want to throw this out there for the young folk. If your parents don't like your significant other, ask them why. Don't go off and say you don't know him or you don't know her. Actually sit down and talk to them, because now, if it's one of those situations where they're first meeting the person and they say that, I'm not saying don't listen to your parents or anything, but there have been plenty of times, well, not plenty, there have been a few times where my mom would say she doesn't like so-and-so, and it turned out she was right. I don't know how parents can do that. It's like you become a parent and you get superpowers for some odd reason, but they could tell, or at least my mom could tell, that he was not going to be good for me, and she was right. But being young, you just don't really want to listen. If you're just starting to date and they say they don't like your significant other, then you should definitely sit down and talk to them about it and look them dead in the eye and say, why? Give me the reasons. Now, if you've been dating for a while and illegal stuff or something weird has gone down, I don't know why you're still with that person. Well, about the parents, I think one thing that a lot of parents tend to do, which is something that we tend to do as human beings, is they'll look at your significant other and then they'll judge them based on the way they present themselves, based on the way they probably speak, based on the way they behave in front of their friends, if they ever see them around. And maybe there's something about that person's morals and values that your parents don't agree with. But then again, it is your relationship and you have to trust in what you're doing. You may find out it wasn't the right thing for you at the end, but that's the part about growing up and going through just becoming a young adult or becoming an adult. You can't just go into something and have it be perfect, because no relationship is perfect. I've been saying that for a long time. There are going to be ups and downs, and you just really can't help it. It's just the way things are. I put this down as my main point. Your happiness comes first. I can understand that you want your significant other to be happy, but if you're not happy in that situation and you just want to keep it going just for that other person's sake, that's not the way to do it. Get out of that situation. Like I said, I was cheated on. I gave it up. I didn't even think twice. I didn't even really try to work it out with that person because he didn't even want to try to work it out. So I said, all right, see ya. There are more fish in the sea. I will find somebody else. The point is that in a young relationship, you are going to have ups and downs. You are probably going to irk each other's nerves to the point where you want to hurt someone, or you're going to sometimes just be so happy that you're actually going to feel like you found the one. Relationships vary. You can't help the way they turn out. When you're going into a young relationship, it may not last forever, but it's not the end of the world. If the L word is used too early, why is it being used? My happiness is more important than trying to make someone else happy. You also need to think about what it is that you really want out of that relationship. And please, don't move too quickly. You're still young and you still have the rest of your life ahead of you. I really hope this video helps somebody out there. I hope that my subscriber who requested this, I really hope that you enjoyed this. And thank you so much for sending me this request. I actually enjoy doing this video. So everyone take care and God bless. See ya.